Hello and welcome everyone to our today's virtual classroom seminar, episode 21. And today's will be a little bit shorter than the usual ones, so it will be around an hour, maybe a little bit. The topic for today is we would like to make your life as DBAs much easier. And we focus on patching. The ideas, maybe we can make patching much easier, going into the direction of making it as easy as pushing a button on your smartphone and getting an update. But before we start, from the entire team, let me give you a big hug. Oracle DBAs run the world. This is not just a marketing slogan. We really know that. And we would like to give you a big praise. Nothing will work without you. The entire world will stop immediately. Airlines, stock exchanges, hospitals, railways, whatever you name it, banks, nobody would be able to operate anymore if you wouldn't be out there and making things run so smoothly. So you're amazing, and thank you for tuning in to our seminar today. If you ever have the chance to come to our workshops in person, then please come by. We have the same thing also as cool stickers, so you can put them on your laptop lid or at the door of your boss. Just reminding everybody how important Oracle DBAs are. Now for today, my name is Mike Dietrich. I kick that off here, and we operate a small team of product managers and developers in Oracle, working customer facing and also to the inside to the development organization. We take care on all sorts of database upgrades, migrations, whether on-prem or to the cloud, and of course also patching, because patching is tied very tightly into the upgrade and migration topic usually, as well as you know from our previous seminars. Then with me today is Daniel. Daniel Overby Hansen is based in Denmark, a little bit outside of Copenhagen, on a nice rural area. And Daniel takes also care on all the tools we work with, but has also a favorable tool which is called Data Pump. He focuses on a lot. In addition, all sorts of orchestration tools and generally sort of migrations. Then Rodrigo Jorge is based in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, so on the other side of the globe, down south. And Rodrigo also is a die-hard migration specialist, but also he loves to automate things. So whenever there's something we can build a tool for, or we can make smoother, Rodrigo is behind this, pushing it massively forward. And then we have Alex Zabala, who lives in Texas in the USA, but originally is from Brazil, from southern Brazil as well. And Alex focuses a lot also on cloud migrations and all of the things we deal with in our team. We would like to guide you during this seminar. And before we start, a quick hint. First of all, of course, we'll share the slides. We'll share them through our blogs, and the seminar will be available in about a week after the initial broadcast on demand as well via our blogs. But please, if you need more information regarding upgrades and migrations, we all blog. So my blog, mikedietrich.com, Daniel's blog, dohdatabase.com, Rodrigo blogs on dbarj.com.br in Portuguese and in English, and Alex blog is alexzabala.com. If you want to contact us, you'll find also our email IDs. And this can be very important because what we are going to show you today, we would like you to try it out and then let us know what you think, if it worked, if it does the job, and you can either contact us via the blogs or directly via email or LinkedIn when you prefer that as well. Slides, as I said, will be available or are available while we talk on Daniel's blog and my blog for download already. And if you need more We share about 35 hours of virtual classroom seminars already with you, and we'll add this one in about a week here to the section on the blogs as well. So please feel free to tune in. When you click on one of the links, you'll always get to a YouTube video, and below the YouTube video, there's a clear description with the contents of each seminar. So you don't have to watch the full 2 hours. If you're interested only in a specific topic, you just jump in there. So it's more than 35 hours, and today we'll add another hour to it. The foundation of today's seminar is basically virtual classroom seminars 16 and 17, where we talk about the different patching strategies, but also how to find patches, which patches you should apply, whatever. But also if you look for a specific patch and it's not available, how to request it. So this is where we spoke about all these topics. Now it's time to start, and I hand over to Daniel, and Daniel will get you started.
Thanks, Mike. Let's get started. I am so proud that I can present new, cool AutoUpgrade functionality today. Our journey with AutoUpgrade has been going on for quite some years. We started out with the ambition to make upgrade much more simpler, and we succeeded. The feedback from you, our valued customers, was that you really love how easy upgrade had become. Many of you also came back and say, yeah, we really love what you did to upgrades. Now can you also fix patching? So we started on that a few years ago. Because patching is super important these days. All through the tech industry, a lot of us are talking about security. 20 years ago, we were fighting against a disgruntled worker in the data center, or perhaps a teenager working out of his parents' basement. That is no longer the picture today. We are up against state-sponsored actors and huge billion-dollar crime organizations that are working relentlessly to grab hold of your data so they can squeeze money out of your company. You have to fight that. And one of the things that you can do is to patch your database. Every quarter, we come out with release updates. And in those release updates, we also deliver fixes to close security issues in the Oracle database. It is important that you patch your database with release updates. Now, the release updates, they come out every quarter. Ask yourself and be honest, how often do you patch your database? When I talk to customers and they tell me, Daniel, we patch every quarter, I become so proud and I think they are super cool customers. Some of you also say, yeah, we do it twice a year. That's not perfect, but it's still quite good. When I talk to customers saying, oh, we do it once a year, this is where we need to have a discussion. And believe it or not, I still meet customers that never patch their database. They upgrade and then they leave the database on that patch level, which is horrible. You don't want to be that customer. Please, we need to patch your database. If one of the reasons for not patching your database is that you think patching is too cumbersome, well, good news today. The ambition in our team is to make patching of an Oracle database just as easy as patching your smartphone. Hit a button and that's it. Now there is a little more to patching an Oracle database. Overall, there are 3 things that you must do. First, you must find the right patches. Searching in Moz is, it doesn't always give you the results that you want, so it can be a little cumbersome to find the right patches. We have a good download assistance where you can easily find the patches, but then you also need to find it for the right platform, and you need to get an updated version of OPatch. When you have that, you can build a brand new Oracle home and then apply all those patches with OPatch. Then you can make your life simpler by creating a gold image and use that on all of your other servers, but still, it is something that you need to do at least one time. And then you must patch all of your databases. If you are a good patching citizen, you first run a data patch sanity checks. Then you do the patching. You move all the instance configuration file, SP file, password file, your network file, gateway configuration files, and all the other files that you can store in the Oracle Home. Restart in the new Oracle Home, run data patch, recompilation, post cleanup tasks, and so forth. This last step, number 3, AutoUpgrade has been able to do that for quite some time now. But it's not the full picture. We want to make it even easier for you. So today I can tell you that we will be covering the entire phase, right from finding and download the patches to building the Oracle Home and to do the patching. And of course, in AutoUpgrade, it must be easy. Those of you that are already familiar with AutoUpgrade, you can see that this is an AutoUpgrade configuration file. But look at the last line. Patch equals. You just tell AutoUpgrade, hey, give me the last release update, update OPatch, and then also the OJVM bundle patch and the Datapump bundle patch that matches that release update. That's it. We will figure out the rest for you. Then, our one-button approach, you call AutoUpgrade in deploy mode. Or it's really not a one-button approach because there is no button to push in AutoUpgrade, so perhaps we should call it a one-command approach. But needless to say, just one command and we do it for you. You don't believe me? I have a demo to show it. I will be patching a database. I'll show that AutoUpgrade can download the patches and build the Oracle Home for me. Let's see how it works. I'll set the environment to the FTEX database. This is the database that I want to patch. It's on 19.21, so I am a few release updates behind. Sorry for that. This is my AutoUpgrade configuration file. I specify that I want to patch the FTEX database and my source and target Oracle Home. And these are the patches that I want to apply to my database. But notice, the target Oracle Home does not exist yet. AutoUpgrade creates that for me. So I start in deploy mode. This is our one-button approach. First, AutoUpgrade will find the latest release update, 19.21, because I did record this before we released 19.25. And then we get all the other patches. AutoUpgrade first starts to check the database to see if there's something we need to cater for. Then we install a brand new Oracle Home and then use OPatch to apply all the patches. First the release update and then the bundle patches. Before we move on and actually patch the database and restart it in the new Oracle Home. That's it. Of course, I did speed up here a little, but let's connect. We'll reset the environment because we have a new Oracle Home now. Reconnect to the database and now it's running 19.24. What kind of trickery was that? Don't you think it's cool? Rodrigo, can you share some more details?
Thank you, Daniel. It's great to see how with a single command line, we can do the full patching process from beginning to the end. Now let's understand internally what happens with the tool when we call this deploy mode. So as you can see in this picture, there are several stages that AutoUpgrade patching will execute for you. If you do the manual process of patching a database, you will have to go through each of those stages individually. But when you call AutoUpgrade patching tool, it's gonna do everything for you automatically. So the first stage is the download patch. In download patch, what you would do manually, you will have to connect on MOS and then figure out what is the latest patches that you have to download for your database. So for example, today, October 2024, for 19C, it would be 1925. But maybe in a year, it's gonna be a different one for sure. So depending on the time that you connect, you need to figure out exactly what are the patches that you need to download. But this stage will detect it for you and download always the latest RU, unless you specify something different that we'll see later on the config file parameter. So you need to connect on MOS using your credentials. The tool will detect what is the right platform. So for example, if you're in Linux, it will download the patches for Linux and will store the patches locally in a repository for you. The next stage is the analyze phase. This is very similar with what we had already before in the AutoUpgrade tool. So it will do some sanity checks. For example, it will check if all the components of your database are in a valid state. It's non-intrusive, so it's a read-only, and we recommend it to execute, but it's not required. The next phase is the fix-up phase. In this stage, we will do some automatic fix-up activities that we have in the tool, for example, like gathering dictionary stats or recompiling invalid objects owned by sys. And the next stage is the create home stage, where here we are using the out-of-place patching strategy. We will create a brand new home. We will apply all the patches that are recommended for you or that you specify in the patch parameter. And then we will call run installer using the same settings as your source home. What are those settings? For example, what is the DBA group name? What is the OInstall group name? What is your Oracle base? What are the languages? Is it a standard edition or enterprise edition? So all of that we will copy from the source home, those data, because we don't provide RSP file, we just provide the source home as a parameter here. So we copy the settings for you. But here we do not execute root.sh for you. You have to do it manually, but only if you have external jobs in your database. How do you check if there are external jobs in your database? You can run that query select star on CDB scheduler jobs, looking for any job that will run on the OS layer, not on the database layer. Next is the patch database phase. Finally, here is when the downtime comes, because we are going to move your database from the old Oracle home to the new Oracle home. And we will not just move the database, we will move everything for you. For example, we will also adapt the ORATAB files. And here we also support read-only Oracle home. We also call U2L fits directories for you. This script will fix the directory paths of your Oracle directory inside your database. Finally, we have the post checks, where we will do some post-patching fix-ups, like recompiling things if needed, and some cleanup tests. So when you call the mode deploy, we are going to execute all those steps for you automatically. But you can perform some of those stages in phases if you prefer. For example, you can provide mode download. And in that case, we'll just do the download phase, nothing else. Or you can specify mode analyze. And in this situation, we will do the download and just the analyze. And also the same applies for fits-up. If you run -mode fits-up, we will do the download phase, the analyze phase, and the fits-up phase. We also created an independent mode called create home mode. In this mode, we will just create the Oracle home for you and nothing else. But of course, we can only create the home if you previously downloaded the patch files. So this mode is dependent of the download mode that you need to execute previously, or you have to place the patches on the local repository directory before calling this mode. So that's how you can do all those stages individually if you prefer. Now let's check with Alex the requirements to run AutoUpgrade patching tool.
Thanks, Rodrigo. So let's talk about some requirements. So the current requirements for AutoUpgrade patching are single instance, Linux x64, so the Windows platform support is coming soon, and Oracle Database 19c. AutoUpgrade patch out of place. For now, it will build the new Oracle home from the base release. Out of place patching. So for example, today you have Oracle Home 19.24 and you are planning to apply a release update in 19.25. If you are doing this manually, you have to do a lot of steps. So for example, you have to install a new Oracle Home, then you need to call the opatch to apply the release update, then you need to shut down the database, move all your configuration files, and then you need to start up your database on the new Oracle Home. And finally, you need to run the data patch. So with AutoUpgrade, it can execute all these for you, so no manual steps. Patch still requires downtime, so for less downtime, you can use the standby first patch apply. And for no downtime, you can use the rock rolling patch apply. Remember, for this one, it will come soon. Always download the latest version of AutoUpgrade, so you can go to this Moz Oracle support node and download the latest version. So also on this node, you can find the AutoUpgrade patch documentation. So if you need to know anything about a parameter, you can go to this link and check. To check your version of AutoUpgrade, you can just run java-jar autoupgrade.jar -version. So please remember to use always the latest one. And now with you, Mike.
Thank you, Alex. Let us cover now the patching topic. And we all know patching is fun. You love it, right? Or not? Well, it always starts with which patches should you apply? And we all know, you know, there's a huge number of Moz nodes out there to read and to study. And it starts usually with the download advisor or assistant, where you get access to the most recent release update, grid infrastructure bundle. Then you need the most recent patch. In addition to that, 555.1 covers the most important issues on top of an RU, so you may visit that as well. Plus, you may have other things in use, such as data pump. You want the data pump bundle patch. You have OJVM. You use DNFS. You use Oracle Text, Spatial, Golden Gate, and in the additional fixes node, each of them has a separate tab for the products, branching out to different nodes, recommending patches as well. And if that wouldn't be all enough, there's also a performance node, giving you advice and pointing to fixes, branching out into a separate one for wrong result bugs, one for SQL plan management, and there are several others there as well. We can't take away the entire check process from your shoulders, but at least for the basics, we can do this. And this is what we are planning here. This is an AutoUpgrade config file. In the first line, we see the keystore, and we'll explain shortly what the keystore is meant for and why we need that here. Then we have source and target home. The source is your current home. The target home does not exist yet. It is supposed to be built up. Yes, that's what we're going to do here. For the database DB19, and once we build up the home, we would also patch your database into the new home. And in order to do that, we need a directory. The folder here points to a directory on your machine. And this folder parameter is the directory where we, at the moment, expect the base release as a zip file into it. So you download this separately. Later on, we may include that. And the patching files, also as zips. All patches you would like to apply to that home need to be all in this directory. And now you have two options. One is, we do that for you. When you use download yes, then AutoUpgrade will download all these from my Oracle support. When you say no download no, you provided that, then AutoUpgrade expects all the patching files you want to apply in this directory. So you have the choice. And what will it download for you? Here we say patch equals recommended, another new parameter. And patch equals recommended is now an alias for the latest patch, the latest release update, the latest OJVM matching that release update, and the latest data pump bundle patch also matching the RU. This is what we think is the most important solid basis you should start with. And this is why we combine this in recommended. You could also specify all of them separately, saying RU, OPatch, OJVM, DPBP. Works fine, but recommended is much easier and also much easier to remember, at least for me. But we know that some of you also don't go with the newest. You prefer N-1, the previous one. And some of you do something we disrecommend, but it's fully supported. You run a different OJVM, not matching the release number of the RU. And that is also possible. So let's revisit our config file here. Now you see, I don't use recommended anymore. I say RU. But since I don't want the most recent RU, I specify with colon and then 19.24 the number of the RU I would like to download. And I'm really on a brave mission here. I would like to combine that RU with a different OJVM. So I don't want 1924 or 1925 OJVM. I take 1921. So you see, even they can differ from each other. That is not possible for a data pump bundle patch. That must match. And for other patches, you also have to take care that they match. But this is possible, and this is a very easy and simple way to advise AutoUpgrade to download these for you. And of course, since we told you there are so many other fixes you may want to apply, you can specify one-off patches here as well. So this note here is well known. 555.1, the most important issues. And when we browse now here, on top of a 1924 home, you see a list of fixes. And you may want to pick some of them as well and add them to your download list. Now, you don't want to download them, right? Let's have the tool doing it. So we say patch recommended, and then with comma separated, we add a longer sequence of fixes here, and we just fetch them from 555.1. The only thing you need to take care on, please, right now, we can't run a patch conflict verification at time of download. So please do this upfront by yourself. Now for this patch parameter in the config file, it's comma separated, and the default value, if you don't specify anything at all, is recommended. But you can also specify RU or RU colon, then with two number pairs, 1924 or 1921 or whatever. OPatch, simple, we always fetch the newest. OJVM, same thing, or with colon, the version number. Data pump bundle patch has no option for versions because it will always match automatically the RU you fetched, and then comma separated also individual patching files. And since everything works nicely on PowerPoint, we would like to show you that now live in action.
Thank you, Mike. Now let's take a look at an example how we can specify this patch parameter and also add some specific patches to it. So here in this example, we have this ftext database is 1921, and I want to patch this database to the latest and recommended patches. So here I create this config file, patch equal to recommended. And as you explained, recommended translates to RU, OJVM, data pump bundle patch, and latest OPatch. But I also want to add some recommended one-offs that we have in this 555.1 MOS node. So here I scroll down, I go to recommended patches for 1924, and I have the list. But check here on the bottom, I can crop the list of all those one-offs and add it to my patch parameter. So I will do a VI on the ftext config file. And here on my patch parameter, together with the recommended, I will also add all those one-offs. So that means I will download the latest RU, OJVM, data pump bundle patch, OPatch, and also all those one-offs that I specified here. Now if I call AutoUpgrade patching in deploy mode, we see it's gonna connect on MOS and download all that patches that I specified automatically. So we see here it's downloading the RU, data pump bundle patch, OJVM, OPatch, and all the one-offs that I put in the comma separated list. Doing LSJ to check the job status, we see it's already applying the patch. Now it's doing the patching process, moving from the old home to the new home, this database for us, and it's completed. Now if I connect back on this ftext database and do a ls patches to check the list of patches installed, I can see here it's fully updated Oracle Home with all the patches that I asked it. So this is how we can specify some additional one-offs to the patch parameter. Now let's understand how is the patching process in the Oracle database. So every quarter we have a new RU, We have in this table, for example, the list for the RUs in 19C, 21C, 23AI. Today, October 2024, we just released the latest 19.25. On top of each RU for the 19C release, we have also the MRPs that are released every month for the duration of 6 months after a RU is released. And those are the monthly recommended patches that are just a list of the most important patches for a given RU. So they are also cumulative, meaning, for example, if we are in 1921 and you apply the MRP 6th of April, this is going to include all the fixes on the previous MRPs for that RU. A MRP is an optional collection of several important one-offs that affected some of our customers. They are delivered as a merge patches, but today they are only available for Linux and only for 19C. And as I said, they are cumulative. AutoUpgrade patching still doesn't support MRP as a keyword on the patch parameter, but we plan to add it so in the future, you won't need to put the list of one-offs if you want to apply all the MRPs for your RU. You will only need to specify MRP as an option to the patch parameter. Now it's with you, Daniel.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Now, let's talk about one of the really cool things in this new feature, how AutoUpgrade can download the patches for you. In order for the download stage to work, there are 2 requirements: internet access and a set of valid MOS credentials. Now, I know some of you are like, whoa, 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 hold your horses there, buddy. We do not allow internet access from our database host. And we hear you. We understand, and we have a solution for you. Just wait a few minutes and we'll tell you how you can work around that. Now, for the internet access, AutoUpgrade needs to connect to 3 systems. Those 3 systems are part of a content delivery network, so the IP addresses are changing constantly. If you engage with the network team to change your firewall rules, be sure to base them on DNS names and not the actual IP address. Also, if you want to connect through a proxy server, you can specify it using the HTTPS proxy environment variables, and AutoUpgrade will pick that up. Now, for your MOS credentials, you need username and password. Your credentials must be connected to a customer support identifier that has an active support agreement with Oracle. And you also need the privileges to download patches. If you fail to have that privilege, talk to your local MOS admin in your organization and have them grant the privilege to you. Of course, your MOS credentials, that is sensitive information. We don't want your username or password stored in clear text in the AutoUpgrade configuration file. So how do you actually specify it? Well, we will take your credentials and put it into a software keystore so AutoUpgrade can keep it safe. You use the global.keystore parameter to specify where in the file system that AutoUpgrade can create this new software keystore. When you use the load password command line option, you will start AutoUpgrade in a special mode where we can create and put things into the keystore. The first time you start AutoUpgrade with the load password option, it'll see that there is no keystore and then create a new one. Now, to protect the software keystore, you need to specify a password that protects that keystore. This you need to enter the first time you create it. After that, if you look in the directory controlled by global.keystore, you can see a file ewallet.p12. Those of you that are using transparent data encryption, you'll notice that this is similar to the keystore that you use for your database. It's actually the same technology that we use in AutoUpgrade. Now, every time you start AutoUpgrade, you must enter the keystore password so AutoUpgrade can access your MOS credentials in the keystore. You only need to do it once, and then you can share that keystore with all the servers where you want to run it. Then you need to add your MOS credentials. You use the add command and then specify the username of the credentials that you want to use. 2 times you enter the password and that's it. Now we have your credentials. The keystore can only hold one set of credentials. If you are multiple users in your organization that patch databases, you either need to share one set of credentials or have each your own keystore. When you save your credentials into the AutoUpgrade keystore, you can optionally specify to create an auto login keystore. If you do that, in the file system, you'll now see a cwallet.sso file. This is an auto login keystore that AutoUpgrade can use to access the real keystore without having you specifying the keystore password. So an auto login keystore that is perfect for automation because now you no longer need to specify the keystore password every time you start AutoUpgrade. So very suitable for automation or scripting. But if you create an auto login keystore, it is bound to just the server where you created. So for automation, you need to create an auto login keystore on all the servers where you want to use AutoUpgrade. And of course, the keystore, it does contain sensitive information, so you should protect it like any other keystore. In the file system, be sure to have restricted file permissions and then optionally also monitor or audit access to the keystore. Now, let's see a demo. Alex, take it from here.
Thanks, Daniel. So now, demo time. So let's see some demos about the keystore. So you have your configuration file, in this case ftx.cfg, and you have the keystore pointing to a directory for this database, ftx. So when you call the deploy mode, it will complain about your MOS credentials. So let's use the load password option. So when you use this, it will create a keystore to store your username and password. So enter the keystore password, and you have now the keystore created. Then now you can add your username and password with MOS access and save it. Now it will ask if you are trying to create auto logging. In this case, I say no. I will show a new thing later. Okay, so let's call. Now you can see the wallet created. So let's call the deploy mode again. And now it will ask for the wallet password. So I use the load password again. And then I can transform my keystore to auto login. Okay, so you can see the auto login keystore file on the directory. Now let's call the deploy mode. Your MOS credentials were accepted, and it's starting now to download the patches. And if your database host doesn't have internet access, so you can use the download mode in an open zone. So you can download the patches on your own laptop or in another server who has access to the internet, move these patches to a NFS share, and then inside your secure zone, your database server, you can run the AutoUpgrade minus mode equals deploy. So be sure to set the download equals no when you are using this approach. Without the internet, AutoUpgrade applies the recent most RU found in the patch folder, unless you specify a different one in your configuration file. You can also download the patch manually and then move to the patch folder. Now, with you, Rodrigo.
Thank you, Alex. Now let's see an example how we can use the download mode just to download the patches from a machine or a server that is placed in an open zone. What is an open zone? Means it has access to the internet. It can reach Oracle IP addresses to download the patches. And then after we download those patches, we are going to place them on a shared folder that can be consumed by a server that's placed in a private zone or a secure zone. So here I do a ping to updates.oracle.com to show that this server is placed in an open zone. I create this config file, and as you can see in this config file, I only specify what patches I want to download, and what is the target version of my database. So there is no seed, no source home, no target home, no information about databases. I could even run that from my computer here, my notebook. And then I use that to just download the patches. And here we see the patches being downloaded. So first the RU, data pump bundle patch, OJVM, and OPatch. And here we see those patches were placed in this NFS share that's accessible to all their servers. Now going to a server without internet access. So when I try to ping here updates.oracle.com, I see I get a fake DNS and all the packets are lost. And I create a config file for this server. And we can see here the patch parameter, but download equal to no, meaning I will consume the patches that were downloaded before and place it on this shared folder. Now when I call AutoUpgrade with the patching mode, I see it's applying the patches, and then it's moving the database from the old server to the new server. If I connect back on this database, I see it's already 1924. So the patches of this database were successfully applied. So that's how we can, for example, deal with the situation that most of the database servers, they don't have access to the internet. So what we can do is we can use the mode download in another server or another computer that has those access and move the patches to this shared folder. AutoUpgrade only download the patch files if they are not found on the patch folder, meaning we will not re-download the patches that already exist in this folder, of course, to save time. Also, another strategy you can draw in your company is having, for example, multiple servers, and they can have this NFS shared folder with all the patches on it. And then when you call AutoUpgrade patching, they will not need to re-download the patches again. We will have the patches already placed there. At this point, AutoUpgrade cannot download the base release, but we are working on that. And the basic reason is that the base release is not available on MOS to download, only on the eDelivery and downloads.oracle.com website. We are working on that, but for now, you need to do this workaround, which is download this base release manually from downloads.oracle.com and place it on this folder where you're gonna call AutoUpgrade patch. Now let's check with Alex some what ifs and different situations for this utility.
Thanks, Rodrigo. So at this point, you maybe have some questions. So let's try to clarify them. So what about the TNS listener? So the AutoUpgrade does not update the listener to start in the new Oracle home. You have to manually change your listener configuration when it's appropriate. So maybe you can do this after the patching or maybe in another maintenance window. The listener configuration, Oracle recommends using dynamic listener registration, but for some reason you have static listener entries, you need to manually update the Oracle home information and then reload the listener. I want minimum downtime on single instance. So is it possible? Yes. So you can use AutoUpgrade and use the mode download. So it will download the patches. Then you can use the mode create home. So you build your new Oracle home. Then you can use the mode fix up. So as you can see, the AutoUpgrade will skip the download patch phase because you did in the previous step. So, and then you can use the mode deploy. And as you can see, it will skip the download patches and the create Oracle home. It will run the analyze and then patch the database and then the post checks. I want to patch multiple database. So AutoUpgrade patching supports multiple database moving to a different Oracle home. And each database will have a different prefix with the same configuration file. AutoUpgrade patching does not support yet multiple database moving to the same Oracle home with one single config file, but there is a workaround. So you can first call the mode create home and then create one config file per database. What if I'm using Oracle restart? So AutoUpgrade can support Oracle restarts, and we will update the Oracle restart registration use RCTL. But it does not patch the grid infrastructure itself. If I have a rack database, so AutoUpgrade supports patching the database only, and it's now, at this point, all node patching with downtime. AutoUpgrade does not support yet creating Oracle homes for Oracle database. It's planned. Rolling patching is also planned, and patching grid infrastructure, but this is not planned. Now, back to you, Rodrigo.
Thanks, Alex. So a lot of people ask us, when should I use AutoUpgrade and when should I use FPP? So they are different solutions for different purposes. AutoUpgrade patching is more when you want to patch just a small number of databases and only the database stack. While FPP is an enterprise solution where you will have a FPP server, you need to deploy clients over those database servers. But you will not just patch the database, but the full stack. So you also patch the GI, you patch the Exadata infrastructure, also the VM cluster, for example, and of course the database like AutoUpgrade does. So they have different purpose. Again, use FPP when you have multiple databases that you want to follow some kind of standard and compliance, while AutoUpgrade is when you have a small number of databases and you want to deal with easy and fast solutions. I have an Exadata database machine. What should I do? Should I use AutoUpgrade patching? For Exadata, we recommend you to go with the FPP solution. And also we have here a documentation link that will show you how to patch all this stack. If you just want to patch the database, then you can still go with AutoUpgrade patching, but that's only gonna patch the database for you. For Exadata Cloud customer, we recommend you to go with Exadata Fleet Upgrade, and we also have an M&A blog post here that will be available for you on this PDF, showing later how to do those steps. If you're using database service in OCI, what should you go? In that case, we recommend you to use the cloud tooling, so that way you don't lose the synchronization between your databases and the UI, or you can also go with Exadata Fleet Update tool. And what if I want to roll back? What do I do if I'm using AutoUpgrade patching and I want to go back to the previous patch version? As AutoUpgrade, you already know it has the restore capability, meaning before starting the patching process, we create a guaranteed restore point. If you call AutoUpgrade again with -restore and providing the job number here, we will do all the steps for you, meaning we will move your database back, also update the etc aura tag for you, and then go back to the restore point at the original Oracle home for you. But we don't recommend you to go with this approach post go live. Why? Because after go live, you will have a new data inserted in this database and you don't want to lose it. So don't go with this approach of restoring the job after you go live. Also, remember that to use the GRPs, you need to work with Enterprise Edition. It does not work with Standard Edition too. So what do I do if I want to roll back after go live? In that case, as your source Oracle home is preserved, you need just to move this database back manually from this higher release to the previous release, and then call data patch to undo the database patch steps. Now, Mike, give us a wrap up of everything we showed on this virtual class.
Thanks, Rodrigo. And thanks, Daniel and Alex. It's time to wrap up. Thanks also to you for staying with us. So once you're done with that, is there anything in addition? Yes, you may need to clean up, because what AutoUpgrade doesn't do for you is cleaning up the previous home. You may need it, you may want it, so the typical techniques apply. And out-of-place patching may also require some additional adjustments to your scripts. Daniel has blogged about this. You'll find some helpful blog posts here. And don't forget also to drop the guaranteed restore point. AutoUpgrade tells you about that, or you can avoid it if you don't want this. Restoration equals no, doesn't set a GRP, but please be aware of that. What's in the plans? What we are going to do next? First of all, we are working to support all platforms. So this is not only a Linux thing right now, as we explained before. We will support 23AI. As you know, 23AI has a different way of delivering the homes. It's kind of gold images at first. And we also want to include the monthly recommended patches, which are a system patch right now, and this makes it a bit harder for us to apply it. We would also look into cloning Oracle homes, and trust us, we have a lot of ideas. But as explained and asked before, please tell us what you want once you tested it. Because we want you to test it. Please, honestly, please. We need your feedback. This is how we launched AutoUpgrade 6 years ago. We asked customers to test it first before we let it out in the wild. Here, we launched it already. We had people testing it, but we are eagerly waiting for your feedback. So also, if you want to become a reference, we will share some slides. We are really happy to do so. So let us know, get in touch with us, LinkedIn, our email addresses, our blogs, whatever works best for you. And we get back to you as soon as possible. As I said, the blogs, the email addresses below here on the slide, you will find them. If you want to give us feedback, please do so. We are really waiting for that. We want your feedback. We need it. Help us to shape the future. We would like to improve that tool. It's not meant for the huge big environments. It's meant for the smaller environments. It should ease your life, especially those who don't have time to dig into patching all the time. For those who set up customer systems at your own customers, which require a little bit of extra administration, this could ease your life a lot. So please help us to shape the future. We'd like to improve that going forward. Let me also point to our YouTube channel. As you know it already, zero marketing, zero buzzwords, just tech. Please subscribe to it. We have over 300 videos on the YouTube channel. 2 times a week, we release a new short video. You can watch it in the train when you go to work, or when you are sitting on the sofa in the evening relaxing. Please do so. Subscribe to @Upgrade now. And with that, we all would like to thank you for your attention. Thank you for spending time with us. And again, we want your feedback. So please let us know what you think and how the tool works for you in your environments. Thank you so much from the entire team. See you for the next virtual classroom seminar soon on the same channel. Thank you and goodbye.